I wanted to come from the perspective of a couple of different things, and one of them is when we're talking about in a year's time, we're having this kind of this echo bleeding through Rick's vision, your dream or your encounter, Rick, and then what we're feeling as well, and what this is. I want to make a point of that, so we're not vibrating at a potential. I feel like I'm in lack. I'm in a deficit. I feel like I'm missing out. What about me? I'm not. We want to dismiss that and reframe that. And so I'm going to come to it in a certain way. But last week I shared, and I was going through the frequency of being present, and how by being present we can actually forecast into our future by using the language. And then by doing that, it swings around in behind us to infill the vanity or the void of the mirror. And so it sweeps in behind you and it infills. And this is what we would call, or you can call, shadow work, if you like. It's the same vibration. It's doing the same thing. It's rendering clear. And it allows us to fortify our present so we can focus on the present. And again, it creates the future. Then the future comes back around and fulfills the past. And we're living in that as we're almost like we've created like a wormhole. We've created past, present, and future in one space, time, space. And we're vibrating at the veil. So a little summary, that's what I shared last week about what the veil is as a vibration, and why it's there as a safety mechanism, and why the word that veil is vibrating to the word of gravity or severity, because it's guarding us so we don't get sucked into a black hole, not knowing that it's there to protect us, because that's everything what Carrie and I are doing in really in a roundabout way. We're going to talk about black fire and white fire, and I'm going to come around it, and I'm going to hand it to Carrie after I'm going to take about 15 minutes here, hopefully, and try to connect with why Yod He Vav He is a vibration, as a template, and how we can connect to it to see ourselves in it. And so I wrote this really basic language right here. I'm going to read it and I'm going to erase it. And I want to bring this down because this is the measure of Yod He Vav He, and how we can be present in it to note if we're centered in our heart, and how we can be present in it. So this is connected to, we have to, personally for me, the Spirit's telling me to take it all the way back to Adam and Hava. Again, for me to be present and to focus on my future, there still is a lingering past. I have to break the program that wants to come in and whisper in my ear, that wants to take me not all the way back. It wants to start with, say, World War II, World War I. What about this? What about that? What about your parents? What about the injustice here and the injustice there? You're like, okay, I need to silence that and go all the way back to origin for me, so I can clearly define my present future. Make sense? So I want to talk. I know Rick will probably connect to this more because of your encounter of Yod He Vav He, and hopefully this makes a little bit more sense and I can assist from this position. So Yod He Vav He as a frequency, breaking it down by me being the Vav. Now, that's me realizing that this is an offering as a template. And if I'm present and I'm centered in myself, then it gives me the opportunity, if I know what this is as an establishment between heaven and earth. I'm a conduit, but still, in innocence, I'm still ingathering incrementally. I'm still piecing this sovereign measure together. Regardless, I'm still a measure of Yod He Vav He. I'm still beholding the power, and I'm watching the power of my hand. I'm watching this power of my right hand. By seeing Mother, I'm watching it shift over to my left hand to establish my left hand, because I'm moving it. My power is now coming around and giving authority to my left hand. And I'll explain this in a second. And this is how we become being, because that's the root of Yod He Vav He, is Haya He Yod He. And so being. So I'm going to read this slowly, and I'm going to try to break it down, because last week I shared about everything about the vibration of the mirror. My heart is to show you the staff of authority of Moshe in this, to show you what is in this for us to realize what it is. So, you don't have any water, do you? My mouth is really dry.
Well, I can grab you some. This is my potassium.
Could you, yeah, just a glass.
Just a glass.
I'm going to be speaking a little.
Yeah.
I got to get this out here. So thank you. So black fire. So when we swing around to the left-hand side, going into the father's side of it, we're going into out of time. We're going into the expression of black fire. And then we have to bring the translation of white fire. And when I say black fire, white fire, I'm talking about the white page and the black words on script. White fire, black fire. And so we have to go into the great expanse of beyond to pull what word is as a vibration, and we're limited to articulation of what the voice is. Thank you so much. So I'm not going to go into that. Is Carrie will. So I'm going to come around it this way and set her up. But that's what we're doing. So in this vibration right here, I call this possessed as fulfilling vanity's mirror. This is the twin mirroring. Why this possessed as fulfilling vanity's mirror? Because possessed is the root of where we get Cain from, and vanity by definition is where we get Abel from. Cain and Abel. Vanity means empty. By possessing Cain, we fulfill vanity's mirror. Mirror is everything of emulation. It means to twin or be in the likeness of. Okay? And so emulate is where we get imagine, and where we get reflection and mirror. So that's why this is so important, why the veil as a frequency is a mirror. So let's just read this, and I'm going to read it because we're talking about present. So as being present, I am beholding time, space. I'm looking at mother and I'm looking at father. This is me. I am beholding time, space as being centers expanded presence. As one, I reflect, I conceive mother, and in conceiving, she mirrors back to me. Upon mother's divine inspiration, as being conceived, my future is directly and meaningfully deflected. It returns back to me. That's what deflected means. As desires divine intercourse. Beholding, now space-time, I'm talking about the veil here. I'm looking at the veil. One side is holy, the other side is holy of holies. Now I'm time-space, beholding two fathers, consummational power. Think of the seed that from past is presently being absorbed as inflections, frequency, tone, as inflections, frequency. This is one standing flexion. Flexion means turn. Whereas all shadow is divinely turned as being absolute. Now I'm going to read this through one more time without stopping. I'm just going to let it flow. This is Yod He Vav He as a mirror, taking reflection, deflection, inflection, and flexion, taking the black stone, which is black absorbs, white reflects, and then it mirrors back to itself to establish time, space, and space-time, because this is what's happening right now in the greater expression. So I'm explaining what's about to happen shortly in this expression of world. So now I'm going to read it through. As being present, I am beholding as being centers expanded presence. As one, I reflect upon mother's divine inspiration. As being conceived, my future is directly and meaningfully deflected as desires divine intercourse. Right here myself. Beholding to Father's consummational power that from past is presently being absorbed as inflections frequency. This is one standing flexion where all shadow is divinely turned as being absolute. I know that sounds like a tornado, but it is not. When you conceive this and know that the conception and the siren share the same space within you, you are now in the power of timelessness. You're in the vibration of the mercy seat, where we have immaculate conception of time space, where the seed and the womb share the same measure. Okay, so now I want to erase all of this. And make some room. I'm going to drop this down. Yod He Vav He. Looking at mother, when I know I'm the Vav, I'm looking at mother's revelation, taking my right hand of a power, coming back around to father, father beholding, as absorbing, he is the black stone. And so it starts, I absorb what I'm processing as my future. And then both of these now reflect back at me as this. I could draw it this way too. There I am. There's my mother mirror and there's my father mirror. Reflecting back at me as fire. There's your two staffs. The mirror of mother and the mirror of father within you. This is two staff. That's a mirror, and that's the mirror. And now it all is as I'm vibrating, as I look at mother and fulfilled by being present, that reflection comes around and it vibrates back to me. And I'm sitting in the middle, vibrating through mother and father's revelation, beholding both of them. There I am as now Vav is in there. But what I've done now is I've made one with both visions of the right hand and the left hand. I've taken that and I made that. I made the olive stand in there. Okay. In this measure right here of what this word is right here, this is all about the staff of authority. This word right here is desire without the yod. Hey, let's take those out of there. Hey, Vav, hey. Desire. It also is the root where we get the word beholding. This is behold and that is behold. It's a very big word, behold. Behold, it's not just a casual word, it's a big word, behold, right? We know that this roots down to Haya, right? Haya, by definition, is being. All these are mere words. So there's the root of Yod He Vav He, being, behold, desire. And this is where I want to go to from this measure right here is when we are beholding, I can now take this same measure as the mirror, He, Vav He, and I can put this word in here. Hey, I think it's noon here. Hey, noon, hey. And it's the same word for behold. All of these are mirrors. This is lineage. We already knew what the noon is. Noon is progeny, seed, right? I am beholding the vision of knowing how to conceive this. What is conceiving? Hey, Resh, hey. So when I conceive this, I'm able to rise into this. So now we have beholding, desire, being, and conceiving, that they're all mirroring. These are all simple mere words. So when we take this revelation, I'm going to shift these two around right here. I'm going to put the resh right here because it is to conceive. And let's put the noon up here. Behold, the bad noon, whatever. Behold. Conceive. Now I want to expand on this word right here. This noon is the beholding. And I'm going to write it this way. I'm going to say it this way on purpose. This is lineage of line. This is progeny. Behold the risen heir. The turn of legacy's lineage, where this one has entered rest, peace in life by sepherically enjoining what was separated. By the assembly of sacred fire, This one has joined. What was separated in life is now joined through the sacred fire. This is the subtle fire. This one is sacredly centered as completed. One that is constitutionally consummated as this one now is able to sire another one. Only taking the noon, which is the beholding, which is the lineage of progeny, knowing that this mirror is all about the reflection of knowing mother is a staff and father is a staff on either side of me. When I comprehend this language, through raising myself through this mirror, as progeny through this mirror, beholding this measure, that word right there is nashtan. That is the word for the staff of Moses. That is Moses.
Holy cow.
Through the lineage. Now, let me read this to you in definition of what this is so you can
So
comprehend.
for those of you guys who don't know the letters, this is not going to probably mean much to you. But what Ken just said, I did not know that. Sorry, I don't need to translate this for you.
I'm going to read it this way. I'm trying to back engineer the staff. It's okay. You can sit back down. The staff of Moshe. So I want you to clarify. You can sit down. It's good because this is what we're doing because we're showing black and white fire. Most people don't comprehend the black fire, what I just showed. This is why we're doing this. Yod He Vav He. Behold, Yod He Vav He. Broken down. Conceive this. Conceive what? Know that you are a conceptor, that you have the womb within you and the siring seed as one. When you comprehend this, there you'll see the arc potential. Because this is immaculate conception where the phallus and the womb are resolved in themselves. Behold, conception. I love this because this is the same root. We've already talked about this. If I was to fill this word in, this is Harashah. We've already went through this, right? Because you can't see the resh. But if I was to expand on what the resh is, it would be resh.
Olive Sheen.
Olive Sheen. And that would be Harashah, and that's the first word in Bereshit. Okay, you can't see it, but in its breakdown, it means conceive. But it's right saying it's similar to this.
So what is Harashah?
Harashah?
Yeah, the word Harashah.
Harashah is it's for Bereshit. It means to conceive. Harashah is Bereshit, the mountain. It means
Is that authority?
well, yeah, well, it's Reshit with the mountain, so it means to summit, to come into the summit of beholding. Harashah. So He is on both sides of Reshit.
Right, so that would be authority.
Authority, dominion, principality, and power. Okay, I'm sorry.
Because we got Michael that's just joined
Oh.
us. Other people have heard your Harashah.
Okay.
He has not.
Okay.
So please.
Because everything was happening right now, this is very important, because that right, you cannot see the power in this word right here because it just says hara. This is the breakdown of dominion, is where we get domain, is where we get principality and power, where we get the word dom from. Now, reason I'm taking this is because the Spirit told me we need to go all the way back to Dom, one Dom. And so, because it means one government, you. So when I'm breaking this down, now it's showing me the mirror again of Hane. Hane in Hebrew means behold. Yod He Vav He means behold. Behold. And I can take this lineage of the new to break this down one more time. Now we're talking about progeny. Progeny. So here's the simple word just of that breaking down. Behold, the risen heir, the turned of legacy's lineage. This one has entered rest, peace in life by spherically enjoining what was separated. By the assembly of inculcation, subtle fire, this one is sacredly centered as constitutionally consummated as one being, as being, this one is able to sire another. There's the sacred fire. There's the sacred fire. Now you are subtle fire. And that again, that is the name of Moshe's staff. Very few occurrences of that, but that's what he called his staff. What is that word, Carrie? You would know it as Nakash, right? But this is how we build it, is to know this. You've gone all the way back to the place of restoration to know that we call it two staff, but really it is Moses' staff is given to you. I went for a walk this morning, a 3-mile walk, and the Spirit gave me this, and it said, just break it down really simple so we can break down, like, since we came here, we've always been expecting to see the staff of Moshe, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this by definition is the staff of becoming. One more word. One. One staff, the staff of Moshe. Behold, one. That word right there, if you want to look at it, it's Strong's 38:15, and it means belonging to God. This is the staff belonging to God. If you know, behold, it is you belonging to it. This is God, that is not God. I am and I'm not, because I am all of it. When I realize I'm the reflection beholding the reflection. Time, space, space, time. When I am present with myself, I reflect upon myself the way of mother that reared me. And in this, I change my right hand, and I filter through to the Father's left hand, the black fire that absorbs. And in this absorption, he reflects upon me as I reflect upon him. Does that make any sense to you at all? Yod He Vav He broken down. Behold, it's you as a vibration, and is directly connected to the staff of Moshe.